Today I'm going to show you how to make the simplest recipe of all and everyone's favorite cookie, chocolate chips. I don't have a wonderful gluten-free recipe for it, but I do have a recipe on the back of my chocolate chip bag, and that's the recipe I am going to follow because I want to show you how easy it is to use Domata living flour in your baking. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and my preferred method is to scoop it with a spoon into your measuring cup. Don't reach in and scoop it because that packs it too tight, and then you're actually getting more than what you need for your baking. And I'll put in, once this is done, we're going to add our baking soda and our salt into it and mix it all together. You can use any kind of chip that you would like. If you don't like chocolate chips or you want peanut butter or something of that nature, also you can use it. It doesn't make any difference, the chip. Just follow the recipe on the back of the bag. Then I'm going to add my baking soda and my salt to this mixture, and then you just mix it up pretty good. I usually use a whisk with it, but I don't have one available right now. So I'm just going to mix it up like this. In the meantime, I'm going to start with I'm going to beat my butter, my granulated sugar. I have 2 cubes of softened butter in my pan already, and I have my sugar, my brown sugar, vanilla. Now I'm going to beat these ingredients until they're nice and creamy. Now that I've finished that and beating this until smooth, your sugars together, I'm going to add 2 eggs. I always add room temperature products. I don't ever take anything directly from the refrigerator and use it unless it requires, like a butter that has been extra cold. And then I'm going to go ahead and beat these again into the product until it is nice and creamy. Okay, now we're going to be adding our flour mixture to this, and I just scoop it in a little at a time. I have changed from a wire whip to a paddle. The one thing you will note about gluten-free flours is that you must, the less time you handle it, the happier you're going to be with your end results. The very last thing I'm going to add is our chocolate chips, and I just stir those in. I can see that my flour is pretty well mixed. You can see how it's gathered here on my paddle. But I like to stir it just a little bit just to get any flour that may have gotten down into the well. I'll give it one more little twist here. It's one of my tricks for removing the batter from my paddle. I just kind of lift it a little bit, and it kind of goes off on the side of the bowl. Doesn't that look good? Even without the chocolate chips, that looks good. Now you pour in your chocolate chips, and it requires the whole bag. That's what we're talking about. Chocolate chip cookies. Stir that in. Get them good and coated. Now it's time to bake some. Okay, now it's time to scoop these up, and I use a little small scooper to make mine. They're nice and even, come right out. Isn't that pretty? I've already preheated my oven to 375 degrees. I'm going to bake them for 10 minutes and take them out. They'll still be soft, but that's what you kind of want. You want a soft, chewy cookie. That's how we like them at our house. I guess if you cook them longer, they're going to be a little bit crisper. Okay, we're going to put these in the oven and we're going to bake them off for 10 minutes. With extra batter, if you're not going to make up the full batch, which we don't need at our house, but what I do is I take the little bit that I have left over and I put it in a plastic container. You can either freeze this and then thaw it out later if you'd like to make some fresh cookies, or do like I did. I had a lot of company at Christmas time, and we made cookies until I couldn't stand up in the kitchen any longer. Decided to put them in the plastic container. I kept them in there, and just the other night I decided I wanted a cookie. And I went to the refrigerator and pulled them off, and we baked off 10 very beautiful cookies. And it didn't take any time at all. Alright, well, don't these look delicious? We're going to let them finish baking on our oven. Not on the oven, on our baking pan. We had them in for 10 solid minutes. Okay? There's our cookies, and we're going to let them continue to bake and cool on our pan for just right now. Okay, we're getting ready with our next recipe, but before that, I'm going to invite Ed in my kitchen. Ed? Want to tell me how these turned out?
Well, first of all, they're beautiful. Look, they're soft. Huh?
How is that?
As good as it gets.